Ford A, owned by Surendra Kumar Dugar. What a nice piece. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that we have car number 16, which is a 1928 Studebaker, owned by Supriya Roy and being driven by Pallav Roy. Please be informed that this car is with this Roy family since it came out new from the stables. It's a fine piece of machinery. We have a 1931 Ford owned by Mayank Kajaria and is being self-driven. We have a car number 19, which is a 1932 Baby Austin, owned by Ashok Kumar De and is being self-driven. At one time, these cars used to throng the lanes and bylanes of KOLKATA. We have a 1932 Ford V8, owned by Shukantilal Shaha and is being driven by Shinjan Shaha. Ladies and gentlemen, please be informed that at one time these cars also used to be seen in plenty, but now these are very few in number and has become very rare. And as we were saying, it was Emil Jelinen's. We have a 1933 Austin, a 4-cylinder, 10 horsepower, owned by Chandra Prakash Verma and is being self-driven. Car number 24, a 1933 Austin, a 4-cylinder, 8 horsepower, Gurmukh Singh, owned by Gurmukh Singh, Khokhar. And as you may see that billions and millions of Khokhar family members riding the car. This car has come all the way from Chaibasha. We have the evidence as they've produced, and they have been participating in the Statesman rally for n number of years. As you say, the billions and billions of Khokhar family members. Good luck to you, sir. 25 or 1933 full sleeve. Followed by a car number 26 is a 1934 Austin, owned by late Hori Mohan De. Car number 27, a 1934 Austin, owned by Pratima Addo and being driven by Devashish. A 1935 green Austin, owned by Mr. Anirudh Ghosh. Car number 29, a 1935 Ford, owned by late Virendra Chandra Guptu and being driven by Ranjit Guptu this time. We have another Austin. We just saw a 1936 Austin 7, owned by Naresh Ojha of Kolkata, and being self-driven, followed closely by a 1937 Morris, owned by Gargi Shadukha and driven by colleague of mine, Dr. Gautam Shadukha. Here comes car number 38, which is a 1937 Opel, owned by Mrs. Smita Bajoria. What a grand old machine. This car, a Rolls Royce, at one time used to throng the quarters of the Rashtrapati Bhavan and was being used by none other than His Excellency Rajendra Prasad. A 1937 Studebaker, owned by Mr. Pradeep Kumar Chopra, being driven by Prashant Chopra. The wiggle, woggle, wiggle, woggle. What a piece of beauty of the yesteryears. Adler, a 1938 Adler, owned by late Srimati Bhavasundari De, and now being used by Mrs. Sucheta Mollik. We have the family in floral costumes. It must be Krishna. Thank you, thank you. Sprinting away to glory. Closely followed by a 1938 Rolls Royce, owned by Ohik Naha, and is being self-driven. What a piece of engineering. Soothing to the eyes. We have a 1939 Morris 8, owned by Mrs. Rita De, and is being driven by Godai Chand De in period costume. He is probably coming out to greet the audience and the esteemed guests. Mr. Ravindra Kumar also greets him. An auto engine. So we have a two-wheeler, a 1923 Panther Sloper, probably one of the oldest two-wheeler machines on the roads of Kolkata, followed by a 1938 James Villiers. 1939 Villiers, owned by late Dr. Abdul Karim, and is being driven by one of his family members and heirs. The stately Austin Shearline, as I earlier told you, it's a 2900cc British machine which is owned and maintained by the Army. (1943) Willys, owned by Nilanjana Chatterjee, and is being driven by Saurav Bose. An Austin, 1947 Austin, owned by Surendra Kumar Dugar and being driven by Arun Roy. What a fine piece, an elegant piece of machinery. What a beauty, what a beauty. The wiggle, woggle, wiggle, woggle comes. Obviously, it's very difficult for such a big car. It can only be called a stately passenger vehicle. We have a 1947 Buick Super 8 owned by Miss Shoma Bhattacharya and is being driven by Jyotirmoy Bhattacharya.
Papa, that car is coming.
A 1947 Chevrolet owned by Devdut Roy Chaudhary and being driven by Shomir Das. Closely followed by a yesteryear beauty, a 1947 Chevrolet owned by Pallab Roy and is being driven by Saurabh Nandi. Another car follows. We have a car that's a 1947 Chevrolet owned by late Sanjay Ghosh. And we have many fond memories in this ground when we used to have Sanjay Da with us. Wherever you are, I'm sure he's watching his cars from heaven. Closely followed by a 1947 Wolseley owned by Mr. Vikram Swaroop and is being driven by Siddharth Swaroop. A 1947 14x16 Wolseley. Following us, at one time we used to see these machines in and around Kolkata. It's a 1948 MGTC, beautifully done, owned by Himanshu Ajmera and is being self-driven. Congratulations, Mr. Ajmera. We have memories of Bampuda because he was the one who used to restore these cars. We have a very elegant 1948 Morris owned by Mr. Ravi Kumar Dugar and is being self-driven. May I request Mr. Ajay Kumar, Zonal Head LIC, to kindly do the honors, sir. Passing by is a 1948 Morris 8. Piece of wiggle woggle we are seeing. Rather a nice piece of beauty of yesteryears. Car number 1948 MG. Owned by Dr. Saurabh Seth and is being self-driven. Number 72 is a 1948 Plymouth owned by one time our great Hemanto Mukherjee. এই পথ যদি না শেষ হয় তবে কেমন হতো তুমি বলো তো না তুম হমে জানো of Hemant Kumar's elegant voice, closely followed by a 1949 Rover owned by Arnab Basu, being self-driven. 1949 Austin, owned by Devoprem Chatterjee, and is being self-driven. We have a 1949 Morris 1948 Morris Minor, owned by Nilina Ghosh. May I request Mr. Shukhendu Hira, IPS DIG, West Bengal, to kindly do the honors, sir. We have a 1950 Morris Minor owned by Shankha Prasad De and is being self-driven, closely chased up by another 1950 Morris Minor owned by Shaurodeep Bonik. What a beautiful piece of machinery, an efficient one as well. We have a 1950 Sunbeam Talbot owned by Mr. Anil Kumar Verma and is being self-driven. Closely followed by another stately car, a 1951 Mercury owned by Paullo Roy and is being driven by Shaurab. What a fine piece of art, I would say. The credit goes to the present owners to keep this machine in this pristine condition. Closely followed by 1951 Morris Minor owned by Shubroto Sarkar of Howrah. We have a 1951 Willys owned by Onnesha Chand Dash and is being driven by Vivekananda. Car number 86 follows a 1952 Willys owned by Nandini Chakraborty. May I request DC Pant, ED, ONGC to sir kindly do the honors. Oh, what a piece of beauty. And once this car used to take me to school. A 1954 Austin of England, owned by Madhu Dugar, closely followed by a Fiat. A 1954 Fiat owned by Mr. Dev Kumar Paul and is being driven by Surajit Paul. And chasing this car is another piece of elegant British everyday use machinery. A 1954 Morris Minor owned by Mrs. Usha Verma, owned and driven by Agnesh Kumar Verma. The Commissioner of Police, Kolkata Police, probably would have been in this car. Now we have a 1956 Dodge Kingsway owned by the Commissioner of Police, Kolkata. What a grand piece of machinery in its pristine condition. And may I inform you that the 1955 Sporting MG Magnet owned by Darshan Mukesh Sanghvi and is being self-driven. Because he is very jealous of this car, he doesn't want anyone else to drive it. A 1957 Wolseley owned by Indrajit Sparky Sarkar and is being self-driven. We have a 1964 Ford Anglia owned by Amritendu Roy of Kolkata and is being self-driven. Closely chasing it is a 1964 Hillman owned by Shormishta Hazra and is being driven by Proshun Hazra. Chased by another very sporting car, a 1966 Datsun, or In other words, colloquially called the Datsun, owned by Rishi Kumar. We have the next car chasing is a 1967 Mercedes-Benz owned by Paul Roy and is being driven by Rohit. Another film personality, Jai Kishan Saraf used to own this car once. A 1963 Triumph Spitfire 4 owned by Organised and is being driven by Shoikot Dotto. We have a 1967 Morris owned by Shoujo Pratim Mitro and is being driven by Shoujo Shaw. Closely followed by a Mercedes-Benz owned by the Army and being used a similar machine. We have a Volkswagen Beetle owned by Syed Talak Zareen, driven by Syed Fakhruddin Hussain. Now the Army Commander's vehicle comes, a 1961 Mercedes-Benz, a war trophy once used by Lieutenant General A.A.K. Niazi. Closely followed by 1972 Morris Maharaja director Mama Lorry to kindly do the honors, sir. We have a 1941 matchless owned by late Dr. Abdul Karim. Now if you see this wonderful piece of machinery, which is an 1942 Excelsior owned by Gurmukh Singh Khokhar. These types of vehicles were actually used and para-dropped. Two-wheeler, 114, 1948 PSA Bantam. Following us is 1959 Vespa owned by we have car number 136, a fully original Fiat. The Fiats are, ladies and gentlemen, you know that it's actually a conglomerate. Fédération Internationale Automobile de Turin. We have a volley of two-wheelers. I request Mr. Deepak Setta of Mahindra and Mahindra sir, kindly do the honors. The two-wheelers are waiting for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with